Uh,
Jack, I love the
well,
name.
you know,
Hot dude.
this is, yeah, part deux. That's what this is, part deux. What happened? You know, this is just because my internet crashed, and of course Google was kind enough to close the Hangout, so it kind of like is dangling in the air there. So that's why we're opening up this new Hangout. That's why we're opening this new Hangout so that we can continue talking models on across the pond. And of course, some of our folks had dropped off, such as Spike. I don't know, he just left.
What left just after you left, actually?
Well, yeah, I left, and then, of course, why don't I just try to see if I can get him back? But anyway, I was doing introductions, and as far as Liam. And
Yes.
next up is Lou. How you doing, Lou?
I'm doing great. How you doing today? Now we all know.
Other than technical problems, okay, I suppose.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, what did you think of the play?
What play is that?
No, that's an old joke. But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, what did you think of the play?
Okay,
I thought it was mind-blowing and riveting.
Yeah.
So you better be careful because somebody else was going to slap you with a pickaxe like they did last time. So.
Yeah, it's. I've said before, lightsabers are not a toy.
All right, so what's up, Lou?
As far as work that I've gotten done this week, I posted a video Monday of last weekend's work of working with pastels, which is something that I hadn't done before and seen done and wanted to get into learning how to do, and found out it's just like airbrushing but without all the nasty cleanup.
Yep.
As far as weathering, it's quite a fun thing to do, actually. And the one thing I brought with me today for show and tell is the spot bust.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice.
And wasn't it a Cylon Raider? You did the pastel one?
Yeah, that's what I did. Let me grab a wing here.
Yeah, it actually looked pretty impressive, you know.
Here's the wing with weathering.
Oh yeah.
That streak there.
Lou, you're the second person I have seen build subparts and complete them with paint, the whole 9 yards, and then you assemble them. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the magic in that?
I do it with military planes, and the way I do it is the first thing I do is I dry build it with the instructions, then disassemble it, then build them and see what parts you can build sub-assembly wise. You know, like when you're building a car, when you're waiting for the chassis or the suspension to dry, you work on the engine.
My point in asking, why do it that way and not just build the model, paint it, and then do all of that stuff?
Because you can get into certain crevices and areas and get the detail out where most modelers can't. For example,
it depends on how well the model is engineered. Some parts you have to build in an order, but if you don't, like exactly what Danny was saying, it allows you to pull it out, pull it to the side, do this while the other part's drying, you can work on another part. And when you're putting it together, you may have to touch up the seam, but that's about it. Now, if you're lighting it, that's a whole different animal because you might have to face wiring and all that. So you might have to build it all in a place and then start painting it. But even when I'm building a starship, I will try to build the complete saucer and then join it, even if I have to, you put plugs on the wiring so that I can build it completely aside, and then I'm not fiddling and bumping into things with my meaty hands while I'm trying to get into a detail area.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I've built a model quite like that because I've wired mine. And you're right, if you're wiring them, you can't really do that. But with plugs, that's interesting.
Actually, you can if you're wiring, if you know how to do sub-assembly even in a circuit. For example, the warp nacelles, it's a strip LED. You run and you put what's known like bullet connectors. If you ever had a remote control car,
wire connectors,
yeah, you just have simple little connectors. For example, on that Enterprise, the warp nacelles are epoxied to the pylon arms, and I've got bullet connectors on the inside So if I needed to disconnect the engine, one of the warp wings itself, the entire engine and everything, I just disconnect the bullets, give it a wiggle, and out she pops.
Yeah. Again, it depends
and also,
on how
it also stops burnouts as well. For example, because I know you, Jack, you like to test your lighting all the time.
Oh, sure.
You've got bare wires everywhere, and if two wires touch, boom, you've burnt out a strip of LEDs or this or that. It actually prevents burnout because the only two connectors that can actually touch each other are protected. You see?
So what do you think of that, Lou? What do you think of that, Lou?
It actually speeds up.
I recommend it. The only problem is you need to figure out, and this is on a per kit basis, whether or not you need to epoxy in the pylons at the base first. It might make more sense to have the secondary hull, the neck, and the pylons all epoxied together, and then attach the engine to the top of the pylon, rather than build the engine and pylon together and epoxy it to the secondary hull.
Yeah,
I know which of those two joints is more secure.
Yeah, or stronger, can hold more structural weight,
right.
Because even epoxy can, once it dries, can be quite heavy. And I know the Enterprise D, the original one, not the clear one, the normal Enterprise D. When I first built mine and lit it up, I tried doing it how I did with that Enterprise, where I epoxied the warp engines to the neck, to the upper arms first. It didn't work out because they're so tiny and whatnot. The epoxy put so much weight in the rear, it looked like a lowrider. She kept doing this number.
Are we talking about epoxy adhesive or epoxy putty?
Epoxy, either or. It just got so heavy to the point where
I would say it would have a weight to it, but the adhesive just oozes, and it just I don't think it's as heavy.
I ended up putting fishing weights in the saucer section to balance her out.
All right.
Because the warp engines got so heavy, she started low riding, dragging her arms.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Epoxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just never thought the adhesive would be that heavy, because I use the adhesive, but I use also the putty. The putty is certainly a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Jack, the reason I started doing that was I realized I built a few of those Bandai kits, and the Bandai kits, the parts are pre-painted on the sprue.
Right.
So when you're putting it together, it's already been painted, and I kind of realized that's a good time saver because you can paint it while you have the most access to it.
Uh-huh.
I know.
And then put your sub-assemblies together, touch up any little paint that needs to be fixed there, and then put your big assemblies together and touch up any paint that needs to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I know the spaceship Yamato is pre-painted, but not only is it pre-painted, the plastic that they use is pre-colored as well. So even if you manage to accidentally, gouge it and you knock some of the paint off, the plastic even underneath is the same color as the paint.
Yeah.
So you can blend match it.
Now the $64,000 question for me is, if you're going to be using plugs, where do you get them?
The bullet plugs, you can get them from any RC hobby store.
Or eBay. I got mine on eBay, Jack.
Yeah, Dane, you want Tamiya small connectors or Dane's connectors. I prefer Tamiya smalls because they're really tiny and you can put them in anywhere. eBay, you can get them on.
Did somebody screen share those connectors? Because I wouldn't even know what they look like.
Right here, I got them. Right here, look. Here's the D.
There you go. That's a Tamiya small connector right there.
Very nice. And that's for how many leads?
Dean's plug.
That can hold up to 14 volts.
Yeah.
And how many leads does that have?
Oh, 2. Positive, negative.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Tamiya has them then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting? Tamiya has them. I wonder why.
And these are bullets.
Tamiya still do RC.
Oh, they do RC too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we haven't even talked to Mike yet. Mike.
Like to go.
Okay, there you are. I have a. Well, I'm not even going to screen share. I was going to screen share your Batmobile, but you have it right there. What's the battery doing in it?
Well, after scrubbing for 24 hours to get the clear and the decals off of it with window cleaner with ammonia, And I did a little looking around, and I sent an email to Tenna Controls, and I found out, you see this paper, the board that goes in the 125th Batmobile.
Uh-huh.
And this Polar Light Batmobile, tiny Batmobile, has nothing in it, you know. Nothing.
No engine.
I'm going to stick the board there, and I'm only going to use these and just weak lights. You know, I don't have to use like actual 9-volt, which would be, I'm just setting that there if I wanted to, and I'm going to attempt put lights in this. You know, like the 25th, but it's a tiny Batmobile, a lot more detailed. I mean, a lot more altercations you're going to have to do this model than probably 25th. It's very doable. Even as far as doing the I can't think of that little thing. It's on the passenger side. I think that's doable. There's a bunch of other little stuff that's very doable on this model. Actually, I've even consideration that in the dash where Robin sets this little crevice here has a notch in it with two little bulbs there, and I think I'm going to try a little itty bitty pieces of fiber optic through there to make it look like bulbs.
Sure, you could do that. That's quite easy, actually.
You know,
do
like
fiber optic, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt all this, and I actually de-chromed a lot of this because, as you can see, this any reference, this was chrome in the sprue, but in reality, that's not chrome. Only thing that's chrome in the real one is that console, to be honest with you. So I just de-chromed all of it. Wish I wouldn't have. Like the rims and this, the guns in the back of it. I wish I wouldn't have de-chromed. But yeah, that's about it. But that's what's going on. I've been using my artist acrylics, and I painted Batman. This is probably the best looking Batman I've painted so far. This is the second tiny Batmobile I've done, and I did the Batboat years ago, and I've learned a bunch. Been part of these communities about figure painting, just painting, period. And you know, I don't know what does everybody think about my tiny Batman.
He looks
very uncomfortable with that pole up his butt.
I was just thinking that's actually very good, and considering where you've, like you said, you've learned a lot from Amazing Plastic and the shows and the videos that you've been watching. It shows.
He's tiny, he's Batman, and he's a baby Adam West, and he looks cool.
Hold it closer, tiny Batman.
Yeah. Jack, these are the sort of connectors I use.
Some bare metal foil.
Sharing it with you. I use the double pole connectors.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Very nice.
The ones you can get them in a strip of like 50 on eBay for like $1.50.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like
the
red and black ones though, because it's harder to mess the polarity.
Oh yeah. And that's free shipping as well, $1.50 before.
Well, you know, with LEDs, if you got the polarity wrong, it doesn't burn them out.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
And again, it's really cool doing it that way because you can solder those connector points onto the motherboard itself on your circuit board, and then just connect the wires to that, so you can leave your circuit board outside the model completely.
Uh-huh.
You know? And if anything goes wrong, you just disconnect, fix it, reconnect, done.
Right.
You don't have to crack open the model so bad to get to the circuit board or anything.
Well, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, and because I really don't really show my stuff. I show members' stuff. I mean, I'd rather talk about members of my stuff, but I've had some successes lately, and I'm going to try to see if I can tilt the camera without it going black. And of course, this is a old kit Reliant model kit. There we go. And see if I can turn on some lights. Get some ambient light instead. Hold on. Gotta take care of my studio light too here. Okay, it looks much better, you know, when it's dumbed down a little bit. This is the, like I said, the Reliant kit, and I made it into the USS Miranda. It doesn't have the roll bar on it. I'm going to plug it in. It's on my stand here that I built.
Oh. And there we have.
Bam.
It doesn't have any decals. I'll be trying to find some custom decals.
Wait.
This is operating on one of Ralph's boards. I think it's the E. It's the nav and strobe from the E.
Nice.
That's good work.
Nicely done, Jack. You know, when they do the next convention...
Before you say, the thing that I'm not proud of is the registry lights. Registry lights is that fan of light here, top and bottom.
Okay.
Nice.
That was just a matter of focusing some LED light onto the hull. So,
what shape of LEDs did you use?
I'm sorry?
What shape of LEDs did you use for those?
It's interesting that I had used 1.8 millimeter LEDs, and they already have a lens on them, and I just trial and error, and I kind of taped it in before I actually glued it in.
All right. Were they the rounded top ones, or were they the square?
They were the rounded top ones, yes. Yeah, they were the rounded top ones. They're pretty focused. So I've heard some people say, it needs the roll bar. It's naked without it. But I don't know. I've gotten to like the profile of this ship.
Yeah, it's leaner. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: that ship could run circles around the Enterprise.
You think?
But can't take a punch.
But the windows are mostly round, and there are a few rectangle ones which have been masked. And I'm not going to do that. The masking of windows makes it very difficult because when you pull the mask off, you're pulling paint off too.
I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the photon bays?
She doesn't have any.
She doesn't have any. She's got phaser bays, but not photon bays.
Just phasers.
Yes, the Miranda class was only used for reconnaissance. She wasn't used for frontline battle.
So
she originally first started off as a science vessel.
What I really liked is doing the shuttle bays.
Mm-hmm.
And I used the photo etch from Paragraphics to achieve that. There's a lot of photos in this. What else can I say about this that is, I think, different? There was talk about this doesn't have any deflector mechanism. And, you know, Star Trek people are pretty technical, and they want to make sure all their I's are dotted and T's crossed. And Bob Buskings actually told me this ship does have a deflector. It's just on the underside. Let's see if I can get a shot of it here.
Yep.
It's this square thing here and here. And they're aimed forward, and he said those are deflectors. Yep. And I was skeptical, and I did some research online about the different cannon and fan-based ships that were drawn up. And in TOS, there is the destroyer, which I built. It's behind me.
Looks amazing, by the way, Jack.
Yeah, you did wonderful on that.
Thank you. And it turns out that the deflector is not a dish. It's on the front edge of the saucer section, and they're square-like portals as opposed to being round. This is what the Miranda class has, the same kind of deflector mechanism. So really, all your checkers are kind of wrong. If you want to cross your I's and dot your T's, instead of backwards, because it does have a deflector system. And I was actually pretty impressed with Bob's knowledge about starships. So there you go. That's it. That's what I have to show.
I'm very interested in that D7 in the background there. Is it the same size as the one I'm going to build?
No. What do you mean? Which one are you talking about?
The green one in the background there, next to this on the bench.
On behind me, right over up in here somewhere.
Down a bit.
Here.
It's in front of the box of it. It's on the bench. It's on the table.
Right
On the
here.
table. In front of the Star Trek box.
Huh. Huh.
Left a bit, right a bit, down a bit.
I get my destroyer out of the way.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that.
You mean this?
That's the one.
This is bigger. This is the relative to the 18-inch Enterprise kit. This is the original kit from the TV series. This is not the one that you have. Yours is smaller.
Is that green and gray?
No, this is actually green. Green and gray. And actually, this paint is, I bought this from Boyd, and I tried using it again on this build. Boyd, you know what? Shellac paint does get old. It stinks worse.
Yep.
And I built this a little differently with little glowing intakes there.
Interesting. Nice
And
try.
of course, I lit up the nacelles too. Cut those slots out. And I made the base as well. I make all my bases. I don't like the bases that the kits
Your
have.
knowledge of Klingons is very, very honorable.
And this is my famous, thanks to me anyway, my bash kit of the destroyer. And I built the circuitry that makes it blink and flash and all that stuff.
Nice.
And I casted the Bussard collector into clear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's solid clear, and it actually has a lensing effect, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
These windows are cut out too. These are not.
So the next time you go to Jersey Fest, are you going to take them all with you?
You know something? I really want to build the destroyer over again. And I have bought plenty of kits. I've got recently I bought 4 kits. So I want to do bash builds on.
Okay.
So that would be, of course, the destroyer and the tug and all those others. That would be those are the. That's what I want to do. Is
that would probably be a weird build, doing an Enterprise D version of that.
Hey, I got something I'd like to show everybody.
A Galaxy class tug.
They show, and I've seen people do it from the movie series with the flat nacelles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's TOS. It's all TOS. I think the updated ones just don't look as interesting as the TOS versions. That's just.
Hey, can I show somebody something real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
I got this from Stern Models Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
$35 from
Oh,
Squadron
you
Models.
got that for a steal.
danger, danger, danger.
Did you wear a mask when you bought that?
Yeah, you must have. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. I'm being stolen.
Since my massive weight loss, I was bought a sweater with patches for it, Star Wars patches for it. If anybody's seen my post about, my major weight loss that's been going on, the jacket doesn't fit no more. So Ellie sent it back and said, what would you like to have? Obviously, stupid question.
Yeah, models. Yeah.
I found me a B9 1/6 scale for $35. So hey, jump on it.
Hey, whatever you do, do not use aluminum powder on that sucker. Use all clads. It doesn't look right if you use aluminum powder.
Hey, I've heard.
I've seen it done using aluminum powder. It just doesn't look right. It's too shiny. You want to go with all clads, chrome, silver when you go to do that.
I use duplicolor silver on mine and it looked fine.
Yeah, but the aluminum powder stuff that hit the market recently from China, I've seen it used on several B-17s and some P-51 Mustangs. It just doesn't look right. Just doesn't look right.
But how does it look? It's not right.
It's just not right.
No, it's too shiny. It's way too shiny. I mean, way, way, way too shiny. Even after they
You think
use
it's
a
too
couple,
shiny?
way too shiny. It's like looking at a brand new dime from the freaking mint. You know, it's like way too shiny.
Be good for chroming then.
Yeah, be good for chroming, but that's about it. You don't want to paint an entire plane that color.
No.
No, no. That reminds me, my B17 I ordered on eBay should be at the post office today, so that'll be going up on the group. If it's here today, I'll be taking some photos of it.
Y'all guys know what this is saying here? Let me hold on a second. That's right. You Star Wars fans.
Yeah, it's the lines.
Yes.
Yep.
I love it.
Like me, you got pop culture down really good. This actually rounds out the pop culture time of the 1970s, the late ones anyway.
Do you know the movie Down Periscope?
I've heard of it.
Well, they did the song In the Navy. Well, there's a parody one with Star Wars characters in it on YouTube. I've got to find it. I'll post a link later on for you, where it's a whole bunch of like stormtroopers and whatnot, and TIE fighter pilots singing it.
Well, I just want to show, because of the interruption we had with technical issues, I have to show this to everybody on a broadcast. This is Phil Robson's PT boat.
Wow.
He just did you guys take over. You tell me what you think.
Or the horrible big brush next to it.
Well, that brush ain't canon.
There is a big brush next to it. I didn't even see that.
Brush. Look at that water.
I think the water effects is absolutely bloody amazing.
Yeah.
I really do. I like the fact that he's also done it with the torpedo getting ready to launch. I can't wait for him to put the crew on it, because he said he's doing the crew right now as we speak.
Actually, I have a shot of that. Here's the crew.
Yeah, see, that will be, once the crew's done, that will be the icing on and the cherry on top of that sundae, and I will definitely want to be spoon-fed that.
This crew looks like they're just standing around sitting.
The only nitpick I would offer is, if the ocean is that choppy, would the boat be that level? That's the only.
If it's going at a speed, yes. If it has speed on it, it would.
Yeah.
But still, it's for the diorama that he's got set. And I mean, this isn't even his main project. The main project is the hood that he's doing. That's it. This was just a side project he was working on. Even for a side project, it's absolutely bloody amazing. This is the sort of stuff you see at IPMS shows that end up walking away with a lot of awards and medals. I'm serious. I know the fact that he used caulking and PVA glue and a few other things for the water, and it looks absolutely amazing. You know, it really does. It really is top-notch work, and Phil definitely, see right there, that's how he did the water. It's right there. It's absolutely amazing the way he did it, and I've seen some people do stuff very similar to it, but for Corsairs and a few other planes crash landing into the.
See, that's more interesting to me, though. That angle is more interesting than dead on.
Yeah, because it looks like he's turning.
Yeah.
It's same as my starships. All of my starships aren't level. Some of them are at an angle, like they're trying to pull a maneuver and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just makes the model come to life.
Just a little more life to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Brad Hare does that.
It's still wonderfully done.
Oh, yeah. I could never do it. I couldn't do it.
It's still wonderfully done. I got to give Phil major props. Now that means I've got to pull out all the stops on this B17 build I'm doing.
I just wanted to show that. If anything that I showed from our members, I had to show that. That was just.
Yeah, that was absolutely
that reminded me of a build some other member did of a World War II in northern Africa. It was a desert next to a cliffside on an oasis. It had a Jeep of some sort of four-wheel carrier. And that was a while ago. That was probably in the wintertime that this guy was building it. And he stacked up layers of foam core to create the cliff sides of sandstone.
Yeah.
quite amazing. So that's why I wanted to show it, because when there's a good diorama, I have to show it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of I just do models isolated from their environments, and I'm going to start doing dioramas. I had bought a Bell helicopter, and I'm going to do the MASH landing pad with the helicopter.
Excellent.
Nice.
I hope I can get figures for it with them running out towards the helicopter.
Stretchers and all that.
What's that?
With the side stretchers.
Yes.
Yeah, say with the side stretches.
Yes.
I know that you can get. Tamiya does military and Air Force figurines. I believe PM Hobbycraft, one of our sponsors, has them on sale right now on clearance on their website.
Yeah, but,
so you
but
might be able
Jack's gonna want to paint up one with a Hawaiian shirt or something to.
Oh yeah, of course, you know.
Oh, sure, that would be Hawkeye, of course.
And one with a fur coat.
Yeah, but that I'm going to see. He's inspired me to do that, and I'll make it a square. A square diorama. I got to see the model first, see how big it is. I think it's a 48 scale or 35. I'm not sure which. I had just gotten it from eBay, and I thought of doing a diorama, and that's the first thought that came through my mind, because when I was a kid in the 70s, I watched MASH all the time.
Oh yeah.
Just the same as Star Trek. So I remember.
Enough to do a Starship diorama, though.
Well, I'm going to do a Star Wars one, doing the trench chase scene in New Hope.
Oh.
I want to do that, and for Star Trek, I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking of the opening scene from motion picture with 3 Klingon ships.
Yeah. No. If you're going to do a diorama of Star Trek, it's got to be the Jem'Hadar battle in Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
Where Cisco and the rest of them were down on the ground at that outpost.
Yeah.
And they were being attacked by Jem'Hadar and those cloaking.
That's a lot of models.
No, I want to see Jack do the V'ger cloud.
Oh yes.
I want to see a background. It'll just be a background.
First contact.
And I'll even let you do it at 1,000 scale.
I was actually thinking of doing it in the 537, the big models.
Yeah. Do a V'ger cloud at 537. It should only be the size of Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's all.
Actually, I'd like to see Jack do the opening scenes of First Contact.
First Contact. That would be actually cool when the Vulcan ship landed. Yeah, that's cool.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. No. I'm talking about the Borg battle.
The what?
The Borg
The
battle.
Borg battle.
Wolf 359.
No,
it's really interesting how each of us think differently about a particular movie, because the highlight to me of the movie was the end, when the Vulcans landed and First Contact.
Jack, I just wanted to show you something. This was taken a couple of years ago at a local IPMS that I went to. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about dioramas. This is Luke's X-Wing. And it ended up, this the guy's very first attempt at an IPMS, and he walked away with 3 medals.
No kidding.
Yeah. They weren't his, but he walked away with them.
No, they were his. He guy was in his 30s. That was the first model he bought and built, and this was at Salt Lake City. And he walked away with 3. General Newcomer, diorama entry. This is one, from one of the photos that I grabbed with my camera phone. That's why it's really crappy quality. And this is one of the groups I'm in, Pinnacle Scale Models. That's a group I'm in on Facebook. And he walked away with 3 of the medals, and say IPMS, see, right down in the bottom corner. And since then he only does maybe 2-3 models a year total, and he takes them to the IPMS. Doesn't even bother entering anymore. He just takes them and puts them on a table and lets people take a look at them and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he still brings this one. He 3D printed the base.
He did.
Yeah, he did. He 3D printed the base and everything else. And for the guy's first attempt, it's absolutely bloody amazing. It actually has a little...
I'm not taking that away from him. Not at all. It's actually very, very good.
See, this is just before he put the R2, the Luke, and the Yoda figurine on there as well. There's a little R2 head that he puts in right in between these 2 little reeds right here. You see little R2's periscope.
Or does he take the one out of the ship when he does that?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it was absolutely bloody amazing, and I had to give the guy props because he knocked me out of my diorama category.
Nice.
Yeah, he did amazing, and all mine was a blown up Sherman and a Tiger and another Sherman coming up from behind,
Mm-hmm.
and the diorama just said Sherman,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I got overall third, but this guy just blew me right out of the water.
Oh,
And that
you know
was
something, though? It would be a nice challenge for us to do, to build a diorama.
yeah.
Especially
Oh,
those of us
definitely.
who
I
never
actually
seen
have a couple of dioramas in mindset. The one I'm building right now is to do with my P-51 Mustang and a B-17. In the
Mm-hmm.
same scale, they're both 148 scale. The B-17 I ordered is 148 scale. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take me about maybe 2-3 weeks just to do the interior.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, it's going to be flying in unison with the P-51 Mustang.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Two
you
of
know,
the
the
two of the
way I
engines are
was
going to be
thinking,
shot out, and it looks like it's going to be on fire and everything.
right, the way I was thinking of particularly things that fly is to do the diorama like the chase scene in the trench with Luke being chased by Darth Vader.
Yes.
That I'm thinking of making it to be hung on the wall, actually. So that's something that
Looking up from the box.
I think give it a step up and actually make it a wall art like a painting would be, you know.
Yeah, that would be
But the
pretty
thing
cool.
that I've run into trouble, I've been wanting to do that. I have the models, but the thing that I'm having trouble with is doing the background because it's all blurred. I don't know how to do that.
Actually,
I
what you
want
can
to. I
do,
want to be able to do it and still have a three-dimensional look to it.
what you can do, Jack, is you can take a screenshot of the background, put it in Photoshop, and there's an option called blur or motion, and it will take the picture and make it look like you're running past it really, really fast.
Well,
And then you can.
I want it to be something I can build and not be flat. I think Lou would know what I'm talking about. Have some dimensionality to it, but still be blurred. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm using 3D models.
What if you put like a
The background should be 3D as well.
Well, here's the thing, Jack. If you're building it as a wall plaque, you could build have the flat on the wall with a graphic or photo of the trench going back, and then having the ships coming out on clear rods from it, and then maybe continue out two of the walls a little bit, so that it's actually 3D till it hits the plaque, and then the graphic image carries the rest of the way in.
Yeah.
But your ships are suspended on clear rods in front of it.
Yeah, that, or you could put like movement lines, like with some streaks of white glue. You could put like movement lines in it.
The blur is going to come from the photo behind it. You're just
yeah,
seeing...
that was my idea. Was take a photo, screenshot, blur it up, movement on it and stuff, and then, put it on as the backdrop.
Would be in focus in the front. The only problem is you'd have to looking at it. I mean, it's one of those things that you're looking at it from dead on front, you get the effect. If you look at it from the side, it looks like 3 ships mounted on a wall.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to do is the elongated version from the side shot, and that's the challenge I have is to make the background look three-dimensional, so it's not 3 ships or 4 ships against the wall. Yeah.
Has anybody ever tried to do an enterprise at warp? Just like when you're about to go in.
Well, first you have to melt the ship and stretch it.
That's right.
Yeah. Jack, here's an idea for you. You could do the trench run, like we were doing with the picture on the back. But instead of it being just Vader's TIE fighter chasing Luke's X-wing, you could put a blown-up Y-wing in between them. Because if you actually remember the movie, Vader ends up taking out a couple of Y-wings before he gets to Luke.
Yeah, but the Y-wings are blown up before Luke starts his run.
Well, yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you, but you see what I'm saying? You can do something like that, which will give you the third dimension, which is the actual ship in between them exploding, or something like that.
Well, I don't want any explosion. I want the point of the only thing that would be of, I guess, a laser being shot towards Luke's ship. But that's pretty much it. No explosions. I just want, to me, the reason I want to do it that way and not explosions is because that particular frame of the movie is what I remember being so incredibly thrilled about.
So you're doing. I was thinking. I'm sorry, Jack. I was thinking head on. You're thinking profile.
Yeah.
Profile. Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to look for. Is
I was thinking head on, where you would be, the ship would be coming at your eye instead of going sideways.
All right, I'm going to bring up an image. I'm going to bring up an image of. I found an image that I wanted to do as far as the diorama goes.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, my internet is as wonderful as it is, and
it just bloody hit me.
What?
Do it like they do in theatre. When they're doing a scene where it looks like someone's walking down a long road, they take they take a whole bunch of scenic paper like this, and then they make it into a belt.
Yeah, do like the fun stuff.
Yeah, with two wooden. Yeah, like they did in the old cartoons, and you just run the background. You're making the background run fast behind them, which makes them look like they're actually going through the trench.
Yeah.
All right, I got some images up here. Let me pick the right one.
And as soon as you show them, Disney will automatically sue you.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
See a picture of Mickey Mouse holding up a dollar sign saying, "You owe me money."
Well, this one is just amusing. Since I am looking around, I'll just screen share. Share. There we go. I think that's just a little amusing right here. These are the ones that I think you were talking about.
Yeah.
Way here up top. These ones here, like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one he was talking. I'm talking about like if you're doing it in a portrait.
No, I'm thinking a side shot. And I can't find a side shot.
You're thinking horizontal. I was thinking dead on like that.
Because I have all 4 ships.
Right.
Oh gosh.
I like the cat. There you go. Do the cat one.
The cat one.
There's one under with towards the top. There you go. The cat with the X-wing.
Oh, poop.
Okay, let me work my Google magic.
There you go. There's the cat.
Yeah. You've never seen Star Wars cats?
No, I have not.
They're on YouTube. They've even got one where one's Darth Vader and the other one's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're fighting with lightsabers.
I've seen that. That is funny.
But you know what I'm saying, though. I can't seem to find that shot. Oh gosh.
Yeah, you want to do a profile shot of the trench.
Yeah, it would be from the side. It's
right.
Not from the head-on or from behind. Yeah, right. you know what I'm saying then.
I know what you're saying.
And I did find a screenshot of that, and I can't seem to find it. And
Jack,
I was thinking,
if I'm remembering the movie correctly, the background was blurring. So could you get a screen grab of just the blurred background? Wouldn't that convey the motion you want?
Mm-hmm.
You can probably get HDA Model Works to print you out one.
No thanks.
Well, it's going to be blurred. You could probably.
I just don't have money to do that. I'd have to do it myself.
Yeah, that's called modeling.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
If it was this easy, everyone would do it.
I spend enough money on my modeling.
But my original idea still works because you could suspend your ships from that back wall with clear rod.
Yes, but like I said, I want the background to have some dimensionality to it.
Right.
But it's blurred.
It's very similar to this, Jack. This is what a kid did with Lego.
Well, you see, that's ships floating in midair to me. That's not flights. They're not flying. They're just floating in midair.
Yeah. Well, anything is going to be a still frame.
See, what I was thinking you might be able to do is take something like this one, like this sort of trench layout.
That's so cool.
And flip it it's in your profile that you want, and then use that as the backdrop. That's no. Because I know, actually, you know what? Joe might know, because Joe's got, he's a big Star Wars miniatures player. I know he's got a Death Star trench run layout, like very similar to this one, very similar to that one. He might be able to take some portrait shots for you, so you can use it as a backdrop. I mean, yeah, they wouldn't be technically...
I found it.
There you go.
I found it.
See? Google's your best friend.
There's a trench profile you just passed up. There was a trench profile.
This is what I'm talking about. That will be, if you look at it, there's some, you can see dimensions behind it, but it's all blue.
Yeah. That's what I was suggesting you do. You take a screenshot, blur it up, print it up, put it on the background, and then you attach the models with a clear rod from the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same principle as what Lou was saying, but instead of it being head-on, you're now in portrait mode. It's the same principle. It's exactly what they...
Jack doesn't want to... I think what I understand, Jack doesn't want a flat background.
I don't. That's right. I don't want a flat one. Not necessarily a very deep one, but at least not flat.
Can you put some basic shapes on there and then wrap your picture over it?
Yeah, you could do that. Or be a lot of wonder.
Hey, Jack, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Now, you think you'd be able to take a screenshot of this? Now, wait a minute here. Now, try this out. Take a picture of it in front of a camera, and as soon as you snap the picture, just move it to the left.
Just jerk
it. You see what I'm saying?
Or ask me to
take your own picture.
Ask me to take a decent picture, and it'll come out blurry.
Well, you guys know what I mean then. All right, so that's the picture that I saw, and I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to have ships floating over a scenery, and it doesn't look like there's any motion to it. And this is what I saw in the movie, and that's what it should be. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So my first diorama is going to be the MASH. I decided to be...
Well, I mean, unless you're going to motorize the...
Go ahead.
Like on a belt, like what Danny was saying, and just have that thing spinning. Those ships...
You know something? That's not such a bad idea, Danny. That would be technically interesting.
Yeah, you put up two rollers like this and run your background between it and just run it like a tank tread.
Right. Right. That's not such a bad idea.
Can I just interject and say one thing? I think it's either this one or the last show we should have been congratulating Jack on doing this for a year.
That's a very kind of you to say.
Right? You know, I think we're around our birthday time at some stage.
We are.
This time of the end of August
And
last
I
year,
didn't get you anything.
It still deserves a big thank you because it's been the most consistent of all the hangouts. You know, it's a regular, it's clockwork. We all turn up when we can. Jack's always here 99.9% of the time. And always wearing underwear.
And actually, if you want to know the truth, not today.
Oh! Oh!
I just wanted to say, Jack, I really appreciate the time you put in.
Oh, you're very nice. In fact, I was going to make mention, and I was about to close the show. Very nice. Thank you so much for saying that.
Like his thunder.
No, actually, no. I'm very flattered and appreciated that you noticed. And yes, and that was my whole idea behind doing the show. Started last year. It was started a year and a week ago today, and I started doing it every week, both Saturday and Sunday. Actually, it started with Richard doing the Sunday Hangout, and he asked me, "Can you do it?" He couldn't that very Sunday, and it just stuck, and it just totally stuck. That I ended up doing a Sunday show, and immediately on the heels of doing that, I said to Richard, I want to do Across the Pond, something called Across the Pond. You know what that would be? He says, yeah, you want to talk to people internationally. And I said, yeah, that's what I want. And actually, from my perspective, I like doing the across the pond. I'm much more energetic because it's morning here as opposed to Sunday night. But yeah, I started across the pond, and I feel that I was much more successful because you actually the ideas from different societies and cultures, like from Ireland, the UK, and of course Australia, that just brings up a whole ball of different way of looking at modeling and doing things. And that's why. So I'm basically throwing it back to you, giving you guys the credit, and not accepting it solely for myself, because
I'm just amazed those Australians can build anything, being all upside down and all.
I am not going to reply that with an answer.
Yeah, it's the success is really contributed to, and all I did is just make it regular on regular times, so that everyone can expect when to be on and make plans for it or not, or whatever.
And being regular is very important.
As of right now, kids, we won when Richard started, and I got a very big part of being part of Amazing Plastic. Our goal was actually to get 1,000 members in a year. Well, we didn't reach it, but it's still an honorable number. 966 members, and every week between 2 and 10 people join, and that's saying something, because at this community, I think though we can indulge in ourselves in all kinds of model building, not just sci-fi. Armor, cars, boats, planes, you name it. And also, we have a member who does paper models. So not even.
And most of us have have multiple personalities. So I think you're up over 1,000.
Well, you know something. Speaking from my point of view, actually, it's been a year for me too.
Yeah, you've been around since the beginning there, Heath.
Because the thing is, I came in just before my birthday, I think. Just a couple of weeks before my birthday, I came in. And I haven't looked back since. I mean, I consider you guys, as I said when I first joined, I consider you guys all my friends.
You know, it's funny you say that. It's funny you'd say that, because in my real life, my friends were very disappointing, and I just adopted you guys as my friends, and we've even starting to make plans to actually face one another face to face. Like next year at Jersey Fest, there'll be a whole bunch of us getting together for Jersey Fest. Well, from the States, it will be about a handful, and I know Christina from the UK is wanting to make it. So yeah, I mean, I consider my friends too. So it's too bad that we live so far apart. Or maybe that's a good thing we live so far apart. We're not each other's hair.
You know, I wish we had something like that over here. I mean, Adelaide gets jack shit, to be quite honest. If we wanted a model,
send your shit to Adelaide.
Well, let's put it this
what
way.
are you doing with my shit down there?
No,
I've
well,
never been there.
A figure of speech.
Well, I'll certainly be willing to talk to any of you people that show up at Wonderfest.
You know what?
Yeah.
People have been saying I should have a table for Wonderfest. I don't know about that. I'm not that great. I'm really not.
Not like you're selling anything. I mean, the only people that have tables are selling stuff.
Right. I don't know. Well, yeah, I'd sell my stuff.
You certainly should enter, though. You should bring some stuff for entering. I mean, it's better than a lot of the stuff I see there.
Well, that's very kind of you. Said my painting technique has to improve, though. That's been decided. I have to improve on that. So
it's
well,
not.
I'll say this much: if I ever win the lottery, the first place I'll be stopping off is Cedar Rapids to catch up with Jay.
Oh dear, Cedar Rapids. He's near Lansing, actually. I think Lansing. I don't know where he's from. He's from Michigan.
He's in Cedar Rapids.
No, he's in Wyoming, Michigan, and I don't know what that's next to. It's not next to Cedar Rapids. I know that. It's closer to Kalamazoo.
Well, let me put it this way: I'd go to Michigan, and then I'd make a beeline to Pittsburgh, and then.
He told Heath he was in Cedar Rapids.
Oh, really?
Don't tell him where he really is.
Okay, sorry. We're pulling your leg there, Heath.
right, pick
Well,
on
win
the
the
down
lottery,
under
come
one.
to the States. Why don't you do that? Why don't you win the lottery and come to the States? All right.
I
Bring your
will.
lovely wife and your daughter.
I want my beautiful pain in the neck of the daughter.
Come see Jack in Altoona, and me and Jay.
Altoona. Oh no, Altoona. Well, let's not talk about Altoona, Pennsylvania, okay?
Jackson
No,
Altoona.
no, let's not.
Altoona apparently is very much like Adelaide, I suppose.
Oh, here we go. Picking on Adelaide again.
Well, you're saying you're the one picking on Adelaide, not us.
He's allowed because he's from there.
That's right.
Well, there is one good thing we have in Adelaide. It's called the Clipsal 500. It's called motor racing. That's what we get.
Well, there's a lot of places in the States I wouldn't have you go to, so.
Well, there you go.
No, Pittsburgh. I'm part of my town. I would say come to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's really cool.
I would actually, if I ever wanted to go to any one place in the world, there's only two places. One, America, and two, Japan. Why Japan? I want to go see the Tamiya building.
It's this big.
See, I'm with you on that. I would visit Australia, but the second choice is up in the air.
Well, you have to go up in here to get to Australia, so you're actually going both.
Well, I'm not going. I wouldn't do Japan. They drive on the wrong side of the road. That's probably what's holding me back from going to the UK.
So we drive on the wrong side of the road too.
Oh, really? I thought you
Yeah,
really.
we drive on the right. We drive in the left lane, and we drive on the right.
Those convicts.
No kidding. I didn't know that. In fact, I didn't know Japan did the same thing.
Don't go to China. They drive on every side of the road.
Every sidewalk of the road. You mean.
So does South America.
Yeah.
All right, kids, it's starting to die off on us, and actually we've extended our welcome a little too long on these shows, and I really like to thank you all for showing up. Because, like I said, thanks, Liam, for those accolades. Really, it's you guys are the help, really.
Liam, we've got to get you to an Isle of Misfits hangout. We've got to get you
At a sensible time of day, no problem.
There you go. That's the problem with the world. It's that everybody's at a different time of day.
It's 9:30. It's 8 o'clock. It's like 8 o'clock at night for these guys. I've tried to change the time.
I'm sure we'll organise something, but let Jack say his piece. Hold on.
Yes, you can talk about that later, but I want to close up shop. And without the members and the Hangouts and all you people contributing to talk about, we wouldn't have the vibrant community that we have. You guys make this job easy, and so that's my payment for it. So join us in a couple of weeks for Across the Pond. Tomorrow night, Sunday, we have the Labor Day Sunday Hangout. There's a national holiday here in the States on Monday, so it's a long weekend for us. And Sunday, tomorrow, we will have the Sunday Hangout. Thank you,
I heard
Danny.
that there's a Mr. Cleveland coming on the Sunday night one.
I have to give him a phone call. Actually, when I close up, I'm actually going to call him, okay? Because it's a little earlier in the morning still. It's what, 6 o'clock in the morning there? What time is it there, Danny? Oh, okay, Danny is not with us. He's...
Hello, Danny.
What time is it there? We can't hear you. That's unusual.
Microphone.
Bye, Danny.
Bye, Danny.
Bye, Heath. Thanks for joining us, John. I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you again. Bye, Dan. Good seeing you. Bye, Lou. And, of course, bye, Mike. And this is your host, Scratch and Jack. Have a good modeling time, and bye.